But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you lie down. Yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make we shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo,
This is their record. The exchange rate has moved from 120 to the dollar to 240 to the dollar. That is Jonathan's record. Jobs have been destroyed. Livelihoods have been destroyed. Over 1 million people have been displaced because of incompetent and corrupt security mismanagement. Meanwhile, during this period, oil prices have been at their all-time high. Trillions have been budgeted for security, but the only thing you see are mansions in Abuja owned by ministers of defense and generals. We know these houses, we know the owners. This is the record of the Jonathan administration in the last 6 years. That's why they don't want to talk about it. So what do they talk about? They move from church to church preaching religious division. They move from town to town preaching ethnic division. They have no record to run on. They take photographs of private estates and claim that the government built the estates. They take
Hello there. Good evening to you. Good afternoon to you. And good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I apologize for starting late, but I'll make it up to you, all of you. I'll make your wait worth it.
Godfatherism.
Share these broadcasts. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tag all the Buhari Dins, the Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Denotus, the Buhari Dijatus. Don't forget the Buhari Shukus, the Ngoziaris, the Unekaharis, and of course, do not forget the Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, the humbled slaves, sophisticated morons, and at the same time, if you have their, if you have their line as well, do not forget their uncles and aunties abroad. The Abroadian Buhari idiots, the Mumu Madus, Bele lecturers, Mumu lecturers, that's first, politicians would deny, then they will indirectly agree but give excuses. Then after that, they will go on a full throttle, which is a full berserk on themselves. Nothing is new. APC, Egbekegbe, is imploding, exploding. But the only news here is that they are also agreeing that as they are going down, going down, Nigeria may be going down too. Tell them, share the broadcast, invite them, right? Like the broadcast, subscribe. If this is your first time, you are always going to be happy coming across this video from whatever platform or whichever one you are watching from. Subscribe, like, share, and relax. We're about to start.
And yes, we like. And yes, we like.
Thank you very much. Once again, good evening to you, good morning to you, and then a good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. Whether you like Mayegun or you don't like Mayegun, there is something you are going to agree with Mayegun tonight, and that is there is fire on the mountain. Nobody can deny it. Obvious, the obvious now anymore. I told you, and I'm going to take you a little bit back the memory lane so that you can have an idea of where this is coming from. Just a few days ago, Hell Rufai of Kaduna, the Kaduna little finger, has been crying everywhere they could give him a microphone and a camera. He's been to BBC Hausa. He's been to TVC 3 times. He's been to Arise Television once. And the reason is because he's crying out loud that some people inside the asshole rock are working to sabotage Tifnumbu from becoming your president. Same thing with Tifnumbu as well. He was the first person to blow the whistle, the dog whistle. Eba agbe epo pamọ́, egbe Naira pamọ́, ama dìbò, ama wọlé. He destroyed the Naira, took it from 200 Naira to 800 Naira. Attacking Buhari every turn. But here is the history. In January 2022, Tifnumbu, returning back from a medical trip in London, right, landed in Abuja and booked an appointment to see Buhari, where he told him that he's going to be running for president. But that was kind of unusual for a Lagos landlord, the man that created Lagos State for 6 days, rested on the 7th day, but forgot to actually add any real medical facility to that creation, right? So he went to Buhari to seek his permission. But there was something that happened. What was that? There were rumors that the asshole rock, right, they are not going to support Tifnumbu. How? There was an agreement. We had an agreement that, I will support him, and when he's done, it's going to be my turn. What changed? Well, Pastor Ruga will be running. No, Yemi would dare not. Yemi want to run for president. Like, it's impossible. Well, he's going to run. And there's another person called Lawan, the Senate president. And there's another one too. And there's another one too. But we only have it narrowed down now to Lawan. How is that? What about Amici? He's also running. No. It's impossible. They can't be running. This was why Tifnumbu hurriedly returned back from London in January 2022 to go straight to Buhari and tell him to his face, I want to run for president. So with that, sending a signal that all of you who have me to contend with for that ticket, I want to see any of you who is going to really stand up, to challenge me. But that didn't deter them. But here is the deal. When the asshole rock that they call the asshole rock cabal, now don't let me kind of hide it from you. When they talk about asshole rock cabal, the asshole rock cabal are the members of the old CPC of Buhari. Everyone else answer to them. Everyone else. So if you see anyone in Buhari's Aso Rock, yeah, working there, and you could trace him or her to CPC when Buhari was running to be president, there are those cabas people talk about all the time. Rufai is not in. However, the cabas don't have delegate control. So what did they do? They now compel Buhari to call the governors because now them get the states, now them get the delegates. Just tell them that this is the person you want and everybody should queue behind him. But when Buhari called all the governors, he only told them that they should let him choose his successor. He didn't name it the successor. He didn't name the candidate or the person. Right? However, when the governors led by Rufai and the rest, when they left Old Rock Villa, met with Tifnumbu, they made a deal, got a deal that, wasn't really so straightforward, but under the circumstance, they've already shot themselves on the foot by coming public to say power must return to the south. Here is now the twist. The Kaba, CPC Kaba of Buhari, they want to keep the power in northern Nigeria. How many of you actually disbelieved that when this was shared on this platform over a year ago? That the plot is to keep the power in northern Nigeria because they've tested the fact that they could do anything. And they believe they have the number. All they have to do is to get 1 or 2, 3, states here and there in southern Nigeria that is going to get paid and then get robbed, and they will just make up the number and they can elect any president they want. They said that there was a video that this northern youth came out and said, everybody is saying they are going to be this, the power is going to be, no. They would decide who will become the next president. Immediate Yala and Co. You remember them? It was all because the CPC jihadist Kaba inside the Old Rock. That's the plan. The state governors who possibly controls the delegates are not in tune with that. So what would they do? They are already divided, right? But eventually, they will still have to play along with their public announcement. Power must go back to the southern Nigeria. That was how Kolu shook majority of them inside the Old Rock. When remember this, that was when he shook all of them. Because the Kaba that wanted to challenge him and stop him, they have no real delegates per se. Here you get, according to those states. So Kolu, as the Lord, right, was able to make a deal that all those governors, they handed over their delegates to Kolu. That was how Kolu defeated the first round of those who started the plot to stop him in APC. Now, Kolu has secured, he's managed to buy the tickets. He can campaign can go everywhere, but Kolu himself knows that that is actually not what will give him that presidency. Because, number one, APC, have destroyed Nigeria beyond what you can even imagine. People can make up all their reality, leave that aside. In truth. Meanwhile, how are you all coping with the scarcity of Naira? What is the Naira to Naira exchange rate today? We usually talk about the dollars Naira exchange rates. Nigeria is in chaos right now. But Nigeria has been in chaos for 7 years that these rogues came in. The reason why Rufai and Co. and Tifnumbu are now screaming out today is not because of scarcity of currency. It's not because of scarcity of fuel. All of these states, governors, all these politicians, they have something called fuel dump. They don't buy fuel. Here you get, don't let anybody lie to you that they are concerned that Nigeria, some people are trying to destroy Nigeria because they want Tifnumbu to stop, so they care for you. They don't care for you. Okay? All of them, from presidency to to each state, they have places called fuel dump. At the same time, there is something called the first right to first refusal, first right to whatever. When it comes to central bank and money, whether na dollar, whether na pounds, or any forex that is passing through the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is passing through any bank, that is passing through any bureau de change in Nigeria, you know the first customers, the governors, the government houses. These are the places where those who trade in cash, these are the first point of call. So Tifnumbu is not going to lack any cash. Bury that narrative that they are complaining because of the cash they have. No. All those ones that you are suffering right now, they are just going to add more to how much you hate APC. And according to the rufai and the Tifnumbu and gang, the people doing all of this are the people around Buhari, the presidency. So the presidency responded. Are you with me? Because this is it's like the battle for their life. Okay? You remember that in 2019, around this time in 2019, Pastor Ruga was everywhere, sharing trader money, market money, and different kind of money. The guy even crashed in a shopper in Kogi. He didn't go to the hospital. They still pack all the money in the shopper, and he still went there to go and share money to buy votes. Now, Buhari and gang are saying they will not let anybody buy votes. Tifnumbu and gang will have money to buy vote, of course. But the real thing is this. If Buhari says he will not let them do it, and within themselves, they know that they are already dealing with them. And Buhari is pretending that he's trying to do the right thing. Let me give you the picture. For them to win election, when they talk about structure, okay, you have two types of structures. The first one is called the incumbency structure. The incumbency structure gives you access to the unlimited federal government money. Not just that, also unlimited access to move the money across Nigeria unchecked, unhindered, and no record. This structure is very, very crucial during election in Nigeria. So even if they have the money, but they don't have the system that allows them to move that money conveniently to the places they want to move them to. If they have people they are going to smuggle in with fake ID, fake voters card, and the rest, the system they need a system that is not going to checkmate that. This is what Buhari is not offering. His body language is everything. They've done so many meetings and all of that. Nothing is forthcoming. And the whole thing is closing in and closing in and closing in. That is why they have to deploy the final push. What is that final push? Let's point the fingers at those who want us to lose the election. Not because we don't have good programs for you. Since you have been watching Tifnumbu video on social media, be honest. Apart from the time that he's reading those things from the papers, even when he's reading them, they don't really make much sense. Tell me, how many times have you listened to Tifnumbu's video anywhere that it make any sense that relates to what Nigeria is facing right now? If he's not turning the whole thing to revive a crusade, God bless you, God bless your children, it will result into different insultive, abusive words, calling his opponents names, bragging, and talking about those who are trying to betray him. Say the truth. So, how do you think they're going to pull it off? If their own network of you know what I mean? Now, the second part is this. They now believe that their rank, Tifnumbu's campaign, presidential council, you know, this is no longer APC anymore. This is now like bigger. Sure you get. For them to speak out, it simply means, the thing don't reach cutthroat. But the first person to respond after after Kaduna Little Fingers outbursts. In one of those outbursts, let me share that with you. In one of those outbursts on a TVC, the credit for this clip goes to the TVC, okay? And please pray for me, because the last time they actually had to report one of my broadcasts because of the Funumbusa video, they reported it and said, well, copyright. So YouTube had to send me an email to delete the video or delete the parts they don't want. I sent them, YouTube said, contact them if they will probably give it a pass. But they deliberately reported my channel. So YouTube now said, I now reach out to them and say, well, I'm so sorry that, because I believe that whatever politician says anywhere, should never be copyrighted. It is for public consumption. They are talking about the people, and then I am one of those people. I am one of those that will be affected by whatever they do, whether I am there or not, whether I am actually voting for them or not, whether I am even voting at all or not. Whatever is the outcome, whatever they do, the people need to know. So I reached out and they were like, no, you need to delete it. Okay. So I deleted it, but I am begging them now, okay? This is just for educational purpose only. This is where they ranted. The last one, which is direct at the Buhari's presidency. This is now APC versus APC. Here you get APC. APC is trying to rescue Nigerians from the ruins and destruction of APC, because APC is trying to sabotage APC from rescue Nigerians from APC. That's the irony. It will turn your head until you're like, okay, fine, I understand, even if you don't. Yeah? Let's start with this. This is recent. No, don't let us start with this. Let's start with the Shitima, who was throwing the first jibe during their primaries and all that. And it was like, where were the Buhari's men when Tifnumbu was doing everything to make Buhari president? Then we'll come back to Rufai. Okay, listen to this.
Over personal gains. In 2015, some candidates with very huge war chests were itching to clinch the ticket of the APC, like a Rock of Gibraltar, Ashwaju, and his progressive team stood solidly behind the candidature of President Muhammadu Buhari. My simple question, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, where were the members, the new members of what I call the Buhari's Church of Latter-day Saints? Why were they? We knew where their political loyalty lies at that particular convention when President Muhammadu Buhari emerged as the presidential candidate of the APC. Why were they? And some people say anything goes in politics. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, not everything goes in politics. We shall have minimal thresholds below which we won't operate.
That's shitty, man. But they didn't mention names. Then there comes Rufai.
The story that we were told that the Senate president was the choice of the president was not correct after all.
Well, we had that too. The members of the National Working Committee called us and said that the national chairman had told them that the Senate president is the anointed one. And again, the northern APC governors asked for a meeting with the president. We went to the president. We said, Mr. President, this is what we are hearing. This is not what you have been telling us in the past 2 to 3 years. Is it true? And the president expressed shock and said, I am not part of this. And right there and then he summoned Garba Shehu to issue a statement that he has not anointed anyone. And he told us very clearly, I have not anointed anyone. Go and bring me 5 Southerners, 5 candidates from the South, and I'll pick one. And we went back as progressive governors now, together, not Northern APC governors, but as progressive governors, we met and came up with the names of Vice President Osibanjo, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor Rotimi Amechi, Governor David Umahi, and Governor Kaide Fayemi. We took these 5 names to him and said, we believe that any one of these can be a veritable successor to your legacy. They are all former governors, they know how to run institutions, they know how to run states, and so on, and we can work with them. Pick anyone, Mr. President, we will support that person. Now, most of us have our preferences, but we will defer to you because of the love and respect we have for you. And please don't doubt this. All of us have great respect for the president because we know his heart, we know his intention. He's a man of great integrity, and he has the best of intentions all the time. He could be misled, he's human, but the intention is pure. So we went to him and we gave him the 5. And he said, look, you know, these 5, you've made very good choices. I've worked with all of them. They are all excellent. Any one of them can be president. Now you put me in a quagmire. We said, what's the quagmire? Just pick one. Close your eyes and pick one. He said, no, they are all my brothers or children. Let the democratic process produce the winner. And that's how we went to the primaries. The attempt to force a consensus around one person failed because the president insisted the democratic process must produce a person. Now, again, I'm back to those elements in the villa. They were the ones that wanted that candidate, and they didn't even have the courtesy to call us as governors and tell us this is what we want, so that we can have a discussion on the matter or even give our own views. But we didn't matter. We didn't matter. It was convenient to hide behind the president's name and say the president said, as if we cannot go to the president and ask him. And this is their modus operandi. The president said. Now, people like me that can go to the president and say, Mr. President, I was told this, did you say it? Are the most hated. Because I have that relationship with the president, I can always go to him and speak directly. And this is why I'm the enemy of most of them, along with some of us.
Excellency, some years back, you complained about some elements in the same Aso Rock, some of them that were originally in the PDP, or perhaps they are even still in the PDP. In an interview that you granted Sunday Trust also at that time, the president's wife has also complained about some of these elements and the fact that they were making it difficult for the president to proceed at the right pace to guarantee Nigeria's growth and development. Many people have also said that some of these elements are openly working for the candidate of the PDP. The governor of Rivers State said about 3 months ago that the candidate of the PDP was being led to believe by people in the villa that he will be elected president of Nigeria. Don't you think it's about time that these elements who are trying to cause your party to be hated by Nigerians are unmasked?
Look, unmasking them is not as joyful as defeating them. They will be unmasked in time. But we have defeated them when they wanted their own people in the National Working Committee of the party. We have defeated them when they wanted their own anointed person to be the presidential candidate without due regard to due process or even respect for those of us that are governors that have slaved to put this party together, campaign for it, and deliver the election twice. Okay? We didn't matter. We are governors, we have problems. Governors are corrupt. Governors are bad. Governors, everything is governors. Meanwhile, none of them has contested an election as councillor. And if they did, they won't win. I have been elected twice with over 1 million votes as governor of Kaduna State. I can claim to speak for the people. None of these people can. We'll come to the unmasking stage. This is not the stage. The stage now is to draw the attention of Nigerians that there are elements that are doing this and they don't mean well for our party. They want to incite voters against our party so that we lose the elections. Now,
Shay, you get Rufai's explanation now. All of you, who called Mayegun liar, you owe me apology. Because the center is, can no longer hold. And the water, as they call it, is just about to start. Every day, the desperation will grow. It will grow. It will grow. And they will start mentioning names. So after Rufai's allegation, Layamo, legendary Layamo, responded on behalf of Buhari, and this is what he had to say to respond to Rufai.
The governor of Kaduna State alleged that some people within the villa, or within the government, right? Within the villa. Are acting, doing everything possible to obstruct peaceful transition. No, see, on a more serious note, one thing I can assure you is that no matter who, this administration is focused and determined to ensure a free and fair election. And I think this administration, and those that matter now, who was the most important person in this administration to me is Mr. President. And I think he has shown by words and by deed that he's committed to a free, fair, and credible election. And fair, free, and credible election actually means not favoring anybody or disadvantaging anybody. And everywhere he goes, he makes that very clear. Even as recently as Friday, when he was in Naira, he said the same thing. So if there's anybody who's working against any candidate, we don't know officially. Now, the other question about the Transparency International rating of Nigeria, and my position is the same. Well, you see, we're not fighting corruption because we want to impress Transparency International or any organization whatsoever. We are fighting corruption because we believe if you don't fight corruption, there will be no growth, either in terms of, the economy or even political. Therefore, what we do and what we have put in place to fight corruption is not because we want to be rated by anybody. If, for instance, what we are doing catches the attention of Transparency International and they improve and they give us better marks, so well and good. However, I can assure you that we do not, as a government, know what template TI is using. But whatever template they are using is clearly oblivious of what this administration is doing to fight corruption. Corruption fighting is not just by how many people have you arrested, how many of you have you tried, how many people have you convicted? Of course, that even in that respect, we have a very impressive record. Is it EFCC? Is it ICPC? But you see, you should look at what we are doing even to make corrupt practices almost impossible or difficult. I'll just give you 2 examples. For instance, this administration, when funds were returned.
Okay. Let me save you. It's about everything he says is lies. Okay, everything he talks. I mean, everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. He's about to lie to you. When he tells you, okay, let me give you an example. Let me save you from Liar Mo. And for those who don't know that man very well, okay, where is he? It's the Liar Mo. I will ask him to introduce himself to you. Who is Liar Mo?
My name, as it appears on your CV, is my correct name, which is Lai Mohammed. Please don't believe what they say on the social media. They call me all sorts of names there. I used to ignore it until one day when my 7-year-old grandson called me and said, "Grandpa, tell me the truth. Why would they call you Liar Mohammed?" I looked at him. What do you say to a 7-year-old son? How do you explain politics to him? So I said no.
He's about to lie again. Instead of coming clean that because I lie for a living, I am Joseph Goebbels of APC. Egbe. He lies for a living. Old man, oh. He is a legend, by the way, and he's been so quiet until now when El Rufai accused the asshole Rock of sabotaging Tifnumbu. Who is the best person to tell the story? Liar Mo. If you put 1,000 microphones in front of Liar Muhammad, this is so unique, right? He will lie to each of them. I mean, every one of them. Different lies. He will tell different lie to every microphone in that bunch. He's a legend. No, we don't know about that too. Anybody walking against? No. What would he say? And that is where Hell Rufai comes back in. Listen, Liar Mo knows what I am talking about. He may not want to say it. He knows the people I'm talking about. Hang on. I don't know what's going on, right? Something happened there, right? I actually thought you were seeing that, but for some reason, I just figured out that I'm the one on the screen, like drinking and sipping my tea and watching. Can you hear me? Is the sound back? Yeah. You see, I told you. I may wake up tomorrow and then get a strike that says that your last video has been reported. Just pray for me. Sure you get, but I mean, I will still speak my mouth. I will still show you what I have. And I'll go to bed happy. Tomorrow will be another day. So there is a clip of El Rufai I was sharing. I don't know what happened. Like everyone else, I mean, like every other video clip, they should come on. I mean, let's try it again quickly.
In the last 48 hours, he has appeared on every major channel. He's been on Channels TV.
Okay, I think that clip has a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to pass. So if the clip continues to like pop up in a way that is not showing out there, something else, we'll just go to something else. That was a very, very good clip that would have made so much sense because he was talking about the people behind the sabotaging of Tifnumbu. He said, these people are northerners. These guys in Buhari's government, they are from the north. And I told you, I said they are CPC guys. And that Layamo knows them. That's what El Rufai was saying. He said Layamo knows them. But you can continue to deny because their intention is to plunge Nigeria into more crisis. So if they didn't want to, if APC didn't want to plunge Nigeria into more crisis, why would they even pick up a Muslim ticket in the first place? Now, talking about the internal betrayers in Oshogbo, just a few days ago, and I think it was yesterday, Kolu was in Oshogbo, and he was lamenting same thing. Listen to this one. Sorry, it's in Yoruba. I will explain it to you. He's talking about people betraying him. And so far, so good. Pastor Ruga is already in the blacklist and black book of Ekolu as we speak. In fact, he's describing him as somebody that if he wants to go, I mean, okay, listen.
Tẹ́ ẹ bá sọ fún pé ẹ palẹ̀ mọ́ ìrìn àjò, Olódùmarè máa bá yín kaṣọ eléyìí lórí ẹ̀kẹ́ mú. Ẹ ní mọ̀ pé kò fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ padà. Bọ́tí Ọlọ́run ló lùrà padà. Ó lọ̀gá gbogbo ayé. Ẹ gbogbo yín balẹ̀ o. Ìnìkan ò ní mí. Ìbànújẹ́ ò ní bá yín. Ẹ rí ilé ìtẹ́gbọ̀ ẹ̀. Àṣìlẹ̀ lọ́nà kò ní dá sí ọ̀ràn yín. Mo sọ fún Buhari pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣì ẹ́ lọ́nà.
For the people who don't understand Yoruba, I will give you this loose interpretation of what he said. That's Tinubu addressing the royal fathers in Osun yesterday, where he went for his presidential campaign on a lamentation upon lamentation, cries upon cries. However, from what he said that enemies within, whose only job is to sort of mislead you. The one that if you want to go out, is so close to you that if you want to go anywhere, it will be the one to say, no, pick this dress. Oh, wear that one. Or don't wear that one. Meanwhile, he's praying that you will never come back. This is another pointer to the internal war that this issue of presidential election, or should I say internal, what do you call it? Internal vibration or thereabout, something destabilization or disruption between Pastor Ruga and Tifnumbu. And all of this coming from the mind of a demented, Parkinson, octogenarian Tifnumbu, but is very sure of what is being told. Pastor Ruga is working within, influencing Buhari against you, talking about using the people against you or turning them against you. So that's him lamenting that he told Buhari, I told Buhari that they want to mislead you, just like rufai is crying. Here is another part of what he told them before he went on to go and promise the students outside the wall. Now, listen to this further part.
Any hall that in Bali, public hall, then kò personal hall. Wọ́n lè ti torí pé ìkọyí kan wọ́n dà yín sábẹ́ búkà kò sẹ́ni lè dà yín nù Ọlọ́run ní dà yín nù kò ní dójú tì yín olólágbára. Ẹni tó bá wù ú ló ń pè fún. Òun ló ní gbogbo èrè ló wà. Ó lóun lè gbé fún ẹ fún ìgbà kan. Tó o bá lò bóun ṣe fẹ́, òun á fi ilẹ̀ òun á fàlùbáríkà lé. Tó o bá dẹ̀ lò bóun ṣe fẹ́, kò sí bó o ṣe ní ìmọ̀ tó. Ó wá gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ, àwọn tó gbé fẹ́ lòdì. Ó lẹ́nu àti béèrè, ó láyà láti béèrè pé kí ló dé ìwọ Ọlọ́run kí ló ṣe ṣe báyìí. Orí òun ní ọba tó tóbi jùlọ. Òun ní ọba wọn gbàgbà ẹ̀ òun yẹ ẹ lónìí. Ní ọba ìpè bọ́yá ìjọba yìí tàbí òyìn kan wá lé àwọn.
I'm sorry. Number one, right? Interpreting what he said is much better for you to be actually to understand Yoruba and listen to all of that. It's frustrating. It didn't make any sense, but I'll tell you what he said. That's him addressing the royal fathers in Oshun to talk to them about his manifesto, talk to them about his programs, and how he's going to come by them, possibly sharing them with the same royal fathers. But throughout that 2 minutes clip that you just watched, he was lamenting, and you could tell where the lamentation is coming from and why. From what he said, only God gives power. Only God chooses who is going to become powerful. And he chooses when to take away the power. Because God said, I am only borrowing you. Okay? It's just like I'm just borrowing you for a time. That's why I'm giving you this power. I may take it away from you and give to another person. Because God is the highest over kings. And he believed that whether power is going to change and or power is going to turn or it's not going to change, Only God knows. That's what he said in that 2 minutes. Lamentation of how much he expected the support, which is normally that's how they do it in Nigeria. We just don't know why Buhari is not giving him that yet. Because I've told you, don't bank on it too. Don't go to Sibra and be like, they are fighting. Yeah. No. You know why they are fighting. You know the depth of their wrangling and all of that. Until they destroy themselves, you have no kind of reason to rejoice. Whatever happiness you think you are enjoying right now is momentary. These guys are criminals. And when the stakes are down, finally, when they push, come, I've been a shove, come to push, I've been a push, come to shove, whichever of the two, they always win. The system always wins. Have you ever noticed? When the criminals are fighting themselves within the rotten system, the losers are always the people. When the criminals are united and happy together, the people are also the losers. Because most of the time, your joy, your rejoice, and every other thing that you are celebrating are premature because they are momentary. Until they destroy themselves, that's exactly when you should probably start rejoicing. But here is the worry. For them, not for me. They are worried that all this wrangling is going to destroy Nigeria. And Nigeria may either enter a coup or a civil war or a revolution, something that may completely get out of hand. Are you watching me from Ibadan? For example, if you are watching me from Ibadan today, and what you witnessed today because of no Naira and all those banks, around there, Agodi, Gate, Ojo, and all those routes, and all, Iwo, all of you who saw what happened in Ibadan today, God help your souls. Now, all of these are the making of all these criminals because they are fighting themselves for power. And you are suffering it as you are today. So they are worried that this whole thing may actually bring Nigeria down. APC may bring Nigeria down with them as they are going down. No wonder Kolu prays everywhere he goes. Now, when he had a chance of meeting the people, especially the young people in Oshun, he told them, listen, I will make sure that your university education is 8 years from 4 years. Madman.
Fún àwọn ọmọ wa tí ò rí léèwé wọ̀, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà léèwé, ẹ lọ kọ sílẹ̀. Ẹ pè mí ní ọmọ àlè tí ọjọ́ yín bá kọjá ọdún 8. Ọdún 8 lẹ máa fi kàwé.
Okay, I'll get you a better one next time, okay? Or you heard him clearly, Abi? To all our children who are unable to gain admission to universities. In fact, to all of you who are in universities right now, call me bastard if you don't spend 8 years in that university, because you will spend 8 years in that university. For all your 4 years courses, call me bastard if you don't spend 8 years. Some people said, Tifnumbu is all right, it's fine. No, I don't believe that. I mean, some of you believe that there is hell, there is heaven. If you do good, you go to heaven. If you do bad, you go to hell. Liars, liars, pants on fire. If you lie too much, you end in hell. Sure, you know that kind of thing, eh? But majority of you that threaten everybody with hellfire and heaven and all those places that you have become consultant to God for, You are now giving and finding excuses for a sick man, interpreting the language of a sick man that we can hear loud and clear. Somebody said, define sick, Mayegun. Show ni problem ni. How can I describe sickness to somebody who himself is probably sick too? They are there. They said, somebody even challenged me. Shut up your mouth, Mayegun, you this Mayegun. Tifnubu is a genius. Do you know if Tifnubu is going to make sure that all of the education in Nigeria will end in 8 years? That's what one will said. From kindergarten to university, first degree, everything 8 years. I said, even Tifnubu will not go any school. I won't take no. Let's be honest, I won't take no. Say they're from the Western world. I said, which Western world? Which one are you talking about? That is a Kola Wale from what do you call it? What do you call that place? Ajangbadi. Kola Wale from Ajangbadi. Or Kola Wale from Amukoko. Kola Wale, I mean, you're from Amukoko. Lying down in that dark room, and he's there talking about the Western world education. Because Stephen is a genius. I said, a sick man. Anyway, from the abundance of heart, the mouth speaketh. I don't know if I said that right anyway, but sorry. That's the only thing I remember. He also told them this, which is, as usual, listen. I told you, most of the time when he managed to say anything, he turns the whole thing to revival, rally, crusade, and he'll start praying for them. He said he's going to create jobs for them. He's going to establish businesses for them, right? And everyone who is a graduate in Oshun, okay, that they are going to create registration center for them so that they will go there and register. And then they can learn something after graduating. Can you believe that? You went to university as a graduate and then you have to go and learn something. They say, hey, but it's a good thing. I say, well, why don't you just go and learn something? Technical school. Why do you have to go and spend 8 years at Kolus University only to end up coming to learn how to make shoes, how to make soap, and how to make this or that? Like, that's what Nigeria always offer you anyway. So he said he's going to create some for them there. Okay, and they can register and learn new stuff. Then they started praying for them. You too will become doctors. You will become lawyers. You will prosper. You will be very fortunate in your lives. And everybody was like, amen, amen, amen. It's like a crusade. Okay, let's lighten up. I am going to take you through to Port Harcourt, where lily-livered, coward, with a Wike. Yeah, that's his new title. It's got plenty titles, but if you want to mention with a Wike's name, do not forget this high honorary title of a coward. He is it. But tell it to him, he's a bunch of it's a piece of coward. With a Wike. I mean, he's working for Tifnumbu, of course. Fine. Come out and say it. He face anybody. Waiting, Waiting they won't do. Maybe I say the whole thing not be like that too. The same thing. That is, in fact, there is something I wanted to share with you before I go to Were Wike, and it has to do with part of what do you call him? Part of El Rufai's frustration. Listen to this,
Look, data analytics is one area that I'm in love with. When I was a student at the Kennedy School of Government, I was a teaching assistant for statistics. So I understand these things. I'm not talking as a politician or as a layman. I understand these things. The most important thing in looking at any opinion poll is the sample followed by the methodology. Okay? When your sample, when you have about 100 million registered voters, and you are sampling 2,000 registered voters or 300 registered voters, I'm sorry, your results from day one are unreliable. They will have very high margins of error. And most of these polls are like that. What about methodology? Most of these polls, like the Bloomberg one, the ANAP one, the Ikonjo Iwala one, all used telephone. What percentage of the INEC voters register contains people whose phone numbers are in INEC's records? We have found out 31%. So from the beginning, you are starting with only 31% of the total sample of voters. So if you pick your sample out of that 31%, from day one, your results are dead on arrival. Okay? So I can take each and every one of these polls and deconstruct them because I understand what is sampling, I understand methodology, and those polls are a joke, with the greatest respect. Okay? We have done a poll with a sample of nearly 40,000 across Nigeria.
Okay.
And the results of the poll show that we are ahead.
Right.
It's going to be a tight election.
Okay.
There are a large percentage of undecideds.
Okay.
So we all must work hard to swing the undecideds to our side. But we are ahead. How can Peter Obi win any election? Peter Obi is polling 1% in Sokoto, 2% in Katsina, 5% in Kano. That's why the votes are. All states are not equal. The fact that you are doing 70% in Anambra State does not mean somebody doing 10% in Kano is not better than you. In the ocean in Lagos, he's polling in the Christian enclaves in the north. He's polling well, but how many are they? How many? Peter Obi cannot win the election. He doesn't have the number of states. He doesn't have 25% in more than, the last time we checked, in more than 16 states. He can't go anywhere. Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor, and that's all he will be. This election is between the APC and the PDP because they have the footprint, they have the spread. Ethnicity and religious bigotry will not take you anywhere.
I know.
And that's what the Labour Party campaign is about.
Did you hear all of that? Did you? I don't know. I didn't put it in the mixer, so it's going to come out like, voice record and all that. Did you hear all of that? He was talking about Peter Obi, this or that. But the point here is this. The same people who said confidently few months ago that do not take any of disobedience serious. They are just 4 people tweeting from a room. Then this El Rufai also came out and he said, if Peter Obi come to Kaduna and see 200 people, it will take him serious. Now, El Rufai, 10 months after, is saying from their own poll that the same Peter Obi and Obedient that can never win are polling 25% in 16 states. The one they did. You better start preparing for real revolution. If Buhari continue the way he's frustrating these people, now them go start the whole riot everywhere. Just like Ogun State governor now. That one has stopped all this campaign. No more campaign, APC campaign in Ogun State. The governor suspect because economy is hard. Nigeria is tough. Nigerians are suffering. Now these governors go sponsor the riot first. And it go be because of this Obi. I just thought I should tell you. Person when no go win, when no feel win, is giving this guy serious trouble. And with a Wike that publicly rejected Atiku is scared to come public and say, I'm supporting Tifnumbu because he's the one that is going to win. Why can't Wike say that in public? Why is he afraid of saying that? She retreat to one lay. Could hear anybody more? It go scatter beyond waiting yourself plan. Mo go River State. Where the Wike in his usual what have you is no longer that way the Wike. Is now saying, you are calling me a coward. You're calling me a coward. We know who is a coward. Baba, we know so now you be the coward. All of us, they root for you. We they believe so you go come out blazing.